Now we're in a sci-fi universe, and we've got ourselves another Protoss versus Protoss, Alien versus Alien here. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Babylon, it is the Red Protoss. For Psystorm Gaming, MaxPax, making his way to yet another Grand Finals. And 2 weeks in a row, this is a PvP Grand Finals. But his opponent, maybe a little less expected here. The upper left-hand corner of Babylon, it is Team Liquid's MaNa. He is the old man at 29. I think MaxPax is like 18, so yeah, sounds about right. And you know, it's funny, I was just talking about it last series. Oh my god, MaNa already with the proxy pylon. I was talking about it last series how we hadn't seen today in all of the PvPs we watched, which was like 8 games, I think, something like that, 8 or 9. We hadn't seen a single map with a ramp down from the natural. But when MaxPax is playing with you, you're gonna get those maps, especially in a best of 5. You only get 1 veto, so you can't veto them all. So now MaNa's kind of got to deal with this ramp. I don't know how he feels about it, but so far none of the other Protosses seem to really like them. MaxPax loves them though, and MaNa's going to try to take advantage of that, but MaxPax gets the scout on the proxy gate. Not a good start here for MaNa's aggression. Now MaxPax knows exactly what he's up against, or at least, yeah, I mean, he's scouting in the main too. He's going to be able to see absolutely everything here, as this probe is just patrolling around the mineral lines. Ooh, a Zealot even coming in to work on this pylon. Pretty sure this Adept will get out, but I think the Zealot can actually just kill the pylon. So yeah, MaNa needs to put down a second one. Stalker on the way out as well, and this Stalker could just kill the probe. Stargate coming up here for MaxPax. That's his usual go-to, and he's just going to take the Nexus. He's going to go for the bold move of taking the Nexus. First pylon dies. The Adept can try to kill the Zealot. The Stalker at the same time and doing some damage to the Adept. In fact, that Zealot's going to stay alive for now. The Adept finishes the shade though. Wants to kill that Zealot. Alright, he gets it. He gets it. Ooh, no wall this time. The Adept's going to be able to sneak right on through. Shield battery going to go down here. A second Stalker coming out. Oh, that high ground vision really helping out MaNa. These little micro wars are happening. MaNa going to get another Stalker in. There's an Oracle on the way out, but there's 2 Stalkers here for MaNa. He's going to just poke at that shield battery. MaxPax coming down here to push this away, but he's got to wait for this other Stalker to come out. He needs that shield battery up. The lack of shield battery has been very painful for him so far. And it looks like MaNa will back up. Did not realize that was MaNa's pylon there that he put down to stop MaxPax from being able to full wall off. Ooh, and this Oracle taking some damage as well. It's going to try to go to the other side of the map, it looks like. Get some damage done over there. Shield battery is now out of juice. Warp gate is not quite done yet, and MaxPax is waiting for another Stalker to come out. All right, there's the super shield battery keeping these units topped up. Such a short cooldown, that super shield battery. MaNa with the high ground vision thanks to this pylon is just huge. Another Stalker is about to pop, and then Warp Gate is now done. MaNa's going to try to pressure in. Stalker finishes up, but in a very bad spot here. It takes a lot of damage. It does go down. Warp Gate finishes, and the Void Ray pops out. These Stalkers have now kind of trapped themselves in the main here for MaNa. At the same time, on the other side of the map, the Oracle used all of its energy to get 4 probe kills. So MaxPax at least getting a little bit of a trade here, but he's losing quite a few probes as well. Stalker's going to dive for the Void Ray. The Void Ray will die, but at the expense of all of these Stalkers, it looks like. 2 of them are going down now, but MaNa, he reinforces with 3 more Stalkers, and MaxPax just doesn't have much here. He's got a Void Ray halfway out. The Chrono Boost is coming out. Is there another overcharge available? There is. MaxPax could use that, but it's actually not going to be helpful against this many Stalkers right now. Probe's getting pulled again. Another Void Ray pops out. It turns on the Prismatic Alignment. Super Shield Battery does turn on. That will keep it alive. The probes trap one of those Stalkers, and MaxPax holds on. He's down quite a few workers, but he's up a Nexus. Got another Void Ray on the way. The Super Shield Battery about to finish those. Not a lot of energy here. Great little pylon, but it's not going to last very long. Can the Void Ray stay alive? Another Stalker warps in. It's just not a lot here for MaxPax. He's trying to wait for this other Void Ray, but it's only halfway done. The shield batteries are out of juice. 4 more probes have gone down. A nice target fire on that Stalker. MaNa gets it. Gets another probe kill. Now there's 3 Stalkers in the main base, and guess what? That Void Ray does not have the hit points to come up here. Ooh, 3 more Stalkers try to show up. Gonna be 3 dead Stalkers here. I'd actually love to see 1 Void Ray stay down on the low ground. Yeah, there we go. MaxPax splitting, but MaxPax losing all of his workers. And did that Oracle die? No, the Oracle's still just chilling here. See a recall and a warp-in back at home to stop MaNa from losing this many workers. The Oracle grabs 1 more kill and then dives out of there. So the Oracle can kind of chew through shield battery energy and kill more workers. And of course, MaxPax has double probe production, so he could catch up, but he's so far behind. And MaNa's going to push out on the map again. The Void Ray is not able to take down that pylon quickly enough before the warp-ins came in for MaNa. And he's going to continue to have those reinforcements available. MaxPax warps in a sentry. That can really only do so much here. Even just the 1 adept sneaking through. I think MaNa's got it. Prismatic alignment has been used again. Probes are just going to run away from this base and go down to the low ground. MaNa decides to back up. He's just going to take a Nexus. He's ahead 10 workers. He knows he has a huge worker lead. But if he gives MaxPax time to build that worker count back up, to get into some other sort of tech or something. Oh no, he's going to lose the Oracle. Oracle again went and sat here on the probe line. He killed 7 probes in total. It's just not enough to make up for the 19 that have been lost on the other side of the map. He's finally going to depower this gateway. He wants to kill the gate, but he's not going to stick around for that. And MaNa's just going to get into Blink Stalkers. He's going to have a really powerful potential to attack with Blink in a little while here. And how does MaxPax counter that? He's trying to catch up on workers. He's getting quite close. And I feel like this is a mistake from MaNa, maybe, not getting his probes out as quickly. He is chrono boosting probes, though. It's just the 2 versus 1 probe production. MaNa's base finally finishes up. But MaxPax is caught up in workers now. This is not a terrible situation for him anymore. The worst part for MaxPax is that his opponent has Blink on the way, and he doesn't have a Twilight Council. So now, MaxPax is stuck with a couple of Void Rays. He's got a Robo on the way, but no Blink Stalkers. And I know I've talked about it before, but you guys know how important Blink Stalkers are in this matchup. There's a reason we see Blink Stalkers every single game in PvP. That reason isn't because the players like using them. No, I mean, they're fun. Don't get me wrong. They're the best unit. They are the best Protoss unit, the strongest Protoss unit. We see them in every matchup. They have the most micro ability. They're the most skill-based. They are just good units. And Void Rays scale super poorly against them. Even Immortals scale poorly against them. Unless you have just like fully equal supply in Immortals. You got like 15 Immortals? Yeah, sure, you might be okay. I don't think we're going to see that many Immortals coming in here. See if MaNa's paying attention, though, to this stasis trap. MaxPax finally does start up that Blink. Feels like MaNa wants to come in here. Yeah, he could get tripped up by the stasis, but he's not heading that direction. He's heading into the main base. Oh, and he's got an Observer as well, so he can even spot that. He's going to be able to see the stasis trap up here as well. Decides not to Blink up. Not really anything he can do about the stasis trap. He can try to Blink next to it, but he's pretty much guaranteed to trigger it. Oh, shield battery is blocking the gas. So MaxPax defending without actually having to fight so far, which is very good for him. It's going to allow him to get this Immortal out. 2 Immortals is a little bit tougher to contend with. Supply blocks himself taking down that pylon, which is very painful. He's finally going to try to move out. Oh, good trigger there on that shield, the stasis trap, excuse me, with the Stalker. And MaNa, he wants to push in. He wants to stop a third from being taken. He's got his own third. It's already done on the other side of the map. MaNa doing a great job getting more ahead. This is feeling better and better for MaNa. I gotta say, MaxPax has done a fantastic job of catching up, but he's still not fully there. And oh, MaNa's just gonna jump on this. I don't know though, prismatic alignment and 2 Immortals. MaxPax moves that Immortal back. Some force fields go down here, but I actually think MaxPax wins this fight. The Immortal still stays alive. More Stalkers are warping in. They don't have Blink quite yet, but it is about to finish. MaNa needs to be a little bit careful as he warps in more Stalkers. His opponent now has Blink. Oh, great force field to separate off that Immortal. He finally gets it. MaxPax does push this back, but he's going to run into MaNa's Immortal. Great Blink micro here so far from MaxPax, though, keeping those low Stalkers alive. MaNa doing the same. Looks like that Void Ray might finally bite the dust here with a Blink forward of a few of those Stalkers from MaNa. And MaxPax, that was a much better fight than I expected it to be, but he is still a little bit behind in that army supply as MaNa warps in more units. Some of MaNa's Stalkers are very, very low, though. MaxPax does have some shield batteries to blink back to. He's trying to take this third base. It's almost done. Feels like it built so quickly, but where the hell did these units come from? MaNa bringing everything across the map. I think he had a couple Stalkers back at home, and suddenly this third base feels like it's in some jeopardy. But another Immortal comes out in clutch timing here for MaxPax. Is MaNa going to try to jump on it? Doesn't look like it. Looks like MaxPax is actually going to hold this base and push MaNa back. MaxPax lost a few workers, but the worker count's even. MaNa's base, he doesn't have the gases at it. He doesn't even have these gases. So his probe count is not super high. He is trying to poke and prod at these Stalkers using his superior mobility. And as I say that, MaxPax is Blink Stalker heavy now as well, and he's going to be able to catch a few of these Stalkers. MaNa's got some units on the top side as well that MaxPax needs to be wary of, but yeah, he's got some units in the wall. He is ready to deal with them. How has MaxPax pulled ahead economically in this game? How in the hell did he do it? Look at this huge mountain that MaNa had, and MaxPax pulls it back. He took one really sick fight earlier, and so far he's just traded better against his opponent. And it looked like certain death for MaxPax. He was at like, what, like 13 workers or something? MaNa was taking a base. MaNa's going to go ahead and take a fourth, and his third was a lot quicker, but he just doesn't have the worker count. Like, what is this, 52 to 60? MaNa's so focused on the mineral income, he's not taking those gases. Both players have +1, is about even. And MaxPax takes a fourth as well. Oh my god, dude, this game. This game is a showcase of how hard it is to kill MaxPax. MaNa had him dead to rights, and MaxPax he's fully pulled it back. I mean, if I looked at this game right now, I would say MaxPax is winning. The one thing MaNa has going for him is this base is done earlier, but he doesn't have more workers. So income-wise, actually still MaxPax favored. With the current worker count, MaxPax can mine efficiently. So he's still ahead, even though he's down a base. And by the time his base finishes, I mean, he's still going to have more workers, right? Like, it's still 60 to 59. Now MaNa's trying to find a way in. Oh, but he's going to lose the Prism. Bit of a bold blink forward there. A few Stalkers going to go down for it. But I think it is worth it for MaxPax. That being said, doesn't really have anything to deal with these charge lots. He's trying to blink backwards. Turns on a super shield battery. He warps in a DT. He knows he's the only one with an observer here. And MaNa, I think he's going to get pushed back by these DTs. Oh, I don't even know if he's realized they're hitting him yet. He finally pulls back, but I think MaxPax took a good end of that fight. He's going to clean up these Zealots. He lost a few workers. Now as an observer shows up for MaNa, he's going to be able to kill those DTs. But MaNa ends up down in army supply after all that. Gets another warp in round, but I think he's warping in back at home. I have no idea where he just warped in. I saw his supply go up, but I genuinely don't know. I guess it must have been in the main. Yeah, he warped in some Stalkers in the main base. To deal with this Prism, he needs to constantly be pushing away as it's trying to get in, and yeah, you know what? There's Dark Shrine. DTs could be warped in, but cannons and shield batteries and Stalker is going to be pretty good at defending. MaNa moving in on the 4th base now, but MaxPax is here to push him away. A few probes going down to this DT. The DT will get cleaned up. But now MaxPax is starting to be aggressive. He's waited all game for this. No, don't pull back. Come on. It's time to go. DT Blink now on the way. Crucial part of late game PvP. We haven't really seen much DT Blink action today, have we? I think it's been researched once or twice. Hasn't really been used. Recall going down here as MaxPax realizes MaNa is on his way. The Nexus gets targeted down, but that's a lot of Stalker damage that wasn't on those Stalkers. Oh, MaNa's gonna get it though. He's gonna pick off that Nexus, and MaxPax needs to do something about it. His Stalkers come home, but the wrong direction. If they had been over here, he could have sandwiched his army. Suddenly, MaxPax is just down a base, and all he did was kill a couple of Stalkers for it. Very nice grab there for MaNa. MaxPax taking a good fight on top of this ramp, but he does have to pull back. The Archon up front, tanking a lot of damage, but not really dealing much. MaNa winning that fight pretty decisively, gonna push this back, forces the cancel on the base. All these probes just running through, a few of them getting gunned down. Oh, and MaNa takes a decisive lead. All of a sudden, his game felt so close for so long. But now in the Blink Stalker phase, MaNa making it look good. DT getting killed here by the probes. A lot of probes going down on MaNa's side of the map, and I think it's too little too late. GG gets called. MaNa, oh man. Yeah, it was dangerously close to losing that game despite having a huge lead earlier on, but manages to hold on to enough of it to pull it back later. And honestly, really impressive because that game did feel very even later on, and MaNa was still able to win it, even from that relatively even situation. I feel like I just said even a lot in that sentence. But I think MaNa's going to be maybe sad that he almost lost it, but happy ultimately with that victory. Now it's time to get into game number 2. Going to Royal Blood. Yawning over here. I need more food. Food's definitely the answer. Big fan of food. You guys like food? Comment below if you like food. We'll wait for the comment like,
No, I don't eat food. Meow, meow, meow. I actually just photosynthesize because I'm a Protoss. Running in the upper right-hand corner of Royal Blood is a Protoss. They don't eat food. Meow, meow, meow. It's MaxPax.
I don't know why we're doing that voice. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner is Team Liquid's MaNa. This is another question for you. Do you say MaNa or MaNa? I think I used to say MaNa, but then I moved to Hawaii. And over there it's MaNa. Actually interested. Yeah, so I was thinking about it. The word does actually come from like Polynesian, Pacific Islander, Maori. It comes from a root of that language, so it's definitely actually pronounced MaNa. Here, let's see if Google agrees.
MaNa.
Yep, Google knows. So if you say MaNa, it's actually wrong. It's actually straight up incorrect. Sorry to burst your bubble. But yeah, I think growing up I said MaNa, and I moved to Hawaii. Yeah, I learned the right way. It's good to learn to do things correctly. Obviously, the correct thing to do on this map is to take the gold base. MaNa knows that. So he's going to go ahead and do it. No! Lame. Come on, MaNa. I believe in you. Take that gold base. Stargate. Psh. Pshaw. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. MaxPax obviously taking the quicker Nexus here. Oh, he's going for a Robo, though. MaxPax usually goes Stargate, but I think MaNa is taking advantage of the fact that this map is a little bit different. MaxPax does play it a little bit differently. Oh my god, but he scouts it. Man, MaxPax is too good. He's scouting all the stuff. And he cancels the Robo. So MaxPax, all right, there's so much to explain, so little time here as MaNa's getting ready to put on a lot of pressure with a Proxy Gate as well as the Proxy Stargate, both of which have been scouted, so MaxPax knows what he's up against. MaxPax, as we saw last game, likes to do the wall out front here and usually puts a Stargate in the wall. That's part of his defense. However, on this map, he doesn't need that extra building to make this nice wall like he's got here. So usually he builds something in the main base, and because he doesn't need it in the wall, that can often be a Robo. And in this case, the Robo would not have helped him at all against the Oracle. So he needs that extra gateway. He needs that production. But he is going to put down a Robo as well because he recognizes this is also some potential heavy aggression with this Proxy Gate. But guess what, guys? MaNa does know the good builds. And he takes the gold, but smartly takes the gold that doesn't have the proxy at it. He's actually a genius. Actually a genius. Twilight Council coming out. MaNa's just going to play some good old-fashioned Blink Stalkers with gold-based mineral income. And MaxPax, of course, doesn't realize this. He knows those two proxies are there. He's focused on just defending. In fact, he's not even building probes right now, which is going to be a problem as MaNa is actually taking a base. Oh, this is so sick. MaNa is playing super out of the box, and I think that's exactly what you have to do against somebody like MaxPax. You got to be aggressive. You got to be annoying. You got to be kind of weird and wild and willing to do the weird stuff. And MaNa has always been that kind of player. He's very difficult to predict, I think. And it's one of the things that's hardest for him. Oh my god, MaxPax sees the probes main-arting away. He's like, can I come with you guys? Can I just want to go mine some minerals too. Where are you guys mining minerals from? It's a spy! It's a spy, MaNa! But MaNa, he lets him see it. There's not really anything else to do. Oh no, and in the meantime, there's a fight going on. And this fight's going very well for MaxPax, who pushes MaNa away. And suddenly MaNa's base is feeling very exposed. And despite MaNa doing the correct thing and taking the gold base, proxying a gateway and a Stargate, killing some probes, I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to this base. Juggernaut Jason, thank you so much for the raid. You guys are here just in time to see if MaxPax can take down MaNa in game 2. It's looking pretty good. Probes coming off the line, but a Prism is here to help these Immortals out. The shield battery is going to finish up here for MaNa. He might be able to hold on with that, but man, look at how much more army. There's only 4 or 5 Stalkers here. This one's trapped. Oh no, he's trapped. Oh, he gets out. He gets out. But the base goes down. G and a GG. And a GGG get called. As MaNa is forced to tap out of game 2, MaxPax, cutting through the haze of figuring out what the hell MaNa was trying to do in that game, ends up with just powerful army pushes forward. JJ, thank you again so much for the raid. I hope you had a lovely stream. Welcome, Terran fans, Terran enjoyers, Toto fans. We're currently blessing the rains as we get into game 3 of this PvP. This is the grand finals of the Europe Cup. Lots of Protoss right now. All the non-Protoss Europeans, or most of them, Still at Gamers 8. Protoss don't get to go to the big tournaments. And the only one that won't go. I actually had some big Terran upsets today. Both Hero Marine and Special were in the bracket. And they were both taken out by young Yakov. A very young and a very talented Zerg player. So not even a Protoss taking down those Terrans. It was a Zerg all along. It was Zerg all along. Allowing the PvP finals, spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Dragon Scales. Another map with a natural ramp here. It is Sidestorm Gaming's MaxPax. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner is, of course, Team Liquid's MaNa. And I like that MaNa, he hasn't been afraid of putting his gateway on the ramp like this. I've seen a number of players that, even on maps with these kinds of ramps, will still just do the 2-gate build on the high ground. And it feels like it's almost kind of a waste, because you can still do the 2-gate build on the low ground, end up with the same exact builds. I guess the one thing is, it's further away, right? So more lost mining time for your probe. I think Geralt, I don't know if he still does, but he used to always just do this on the high ground, even before the nerfs that made this kind of opening worse, the MaxPax opener. MaxPax going straight for the Nexus. So this could give MaNa an opportunity. Yeah, of course MaNa's going to try to do this. We've all been there. It's cool when it works. MaxPax, though, he's usually very good at sussing these things out. He's got a big brain. He thinks about them. Oh, MaNa's just going to let it finish, though. And, of course, MaNa is going to get very aggressive here. MaxPax is going to see no Nexus. He's got to know there's proxy coming. He's got to know there's something out on the map. Ooh, and it's a Robo, the good old-fashioned proxy Robo. It's just kind of a beautiful thing. You know what? This pylon is going to stay up in the main. MaxPax is going to try to go handle it, but he's got to start worrying about a defense now. I guess he'll be able to kill it in time. Probe still scouting around. I don't think MaxPax has spotted the proxy Robo yet. But if that probe keeps sharking around, it will find it eventually. It looks like the pylon will go down, unfortunately, for MaNa. It would have been cool to see a couple of Adepts be able to warp in there. Now, of course, Void Ray on the way. Big problem for MaNa. He's not going for Stalkers. So the Void Ray is going to be really good against all these units. Because none of them shoot up. I'm actually getting a little worried for MaNa here. He's got to know it was a Stargate. He was just up there. He was just up. It's always a Stargate. He's finally going to warp in a Stalker. I feel like he needs a few more. Second Void Ray on the way already. MaNa's going to start poking up here. But the Void Ray could just chase this, right? Like, this is the problem here. One Stalker is not that scary to a Void Ray. I don't know why the Void Ray isn't just here. Obviously, it's a little terrifying being out there, but he just saw that army. All right, he's going to drop down some cannons. There's only one pylon. This does worry me for MaxPax. Oh, wait. Nope, the other one's hiding under the Void Ray. I lied. Tasteless. Tasteless is here. Tasselbubs. Why did he cancel that? Oh, I don't know about this. All right, there's a couple sentries as well now. Nice trigger on that Immortal's shield. I don't know about the cancel on that that cannon there for MaxPax. MaxPax is probing up a little bit. He's got a good worker count. Prismatic alignment turns on. These units do not do well against that. The Adept Shade forward as well. Not particularly ideal. Prismatic alignment canceled on those 2 Void Rays. There's still one that has it, though. If MaxPax decides to trigger it. He's keeping some Stalkers in the main to deal with the Prism in case it tries to go up there. Keeping the Void Rays defensive. The cannon taking a lot of damage here. It will go down. The Void Ray is dealing a lot of damage in the meantime. MaNa, though, going to keep that pressure on. Starting to chunk through the Stargate hit points, but the Immortal now getting targeted down. And MaNa's going to have to back up. Super Shield Battery turns on. Once it heals the units, it can turn itself onto the Stargate. I'd love to see that happen. There it goes. MaxPax, he's a strong boy. In the meantime, that looks like an Adept, perhaps, that snuck into MaNa's base somehow and got itself 4 probe kills. MaNa down to 19 workers here against 40. And the amount of production for MaxPax, I think, is just going to be enough to hold on. He's got 2 cannons, 3 shield batteries. Tasteless Artosis are there, as well as that's actually Wolf. And who else? Who else? Gemini. Gemini's done some casting, right? It's Gemini. He's hanging out there too. There's all the GSL commentators. Oh, State. State's the current one. Yeah, sorry, Gemini, you're not there. Gemini's up here. He's teaching English to the probes. Good job, Gemini. Holding down the fort. Yeah, I think MaxPax just has this now. Super Shield Battery, Prismatic Alignment going to be pretty strong. 1 Void Ray does go down. But MaxPax is he's just going to have so much stuff. Oh my god, and he turns the Overcharge onto the Cyber Core. Keeps it alive for a bunch longer now. Looks like those Stalkers will be able to take it down, but it's just buying more time for MaxPax to warp in more units. No more Void Rays on the way because it's Immortal time. The Immortal's coming out. MaNa's going to try to go into the main base, but the probe and the Stalkers are going to spot that and allow MaxPax time to rotate up. And with the Immortal here, MaNa's now fully committed to this attack. And my friends, that is not going to bode well. The Prism goes down, GG gets called, and MaxPax holds on in game 3 to go up to match point. More like max point, am I right? This looks like me attempting a pro build in Plat. My friend, I can assure you that these games look nothing like a Platinum game. It's really funny because I know when you're playing a game, you feel like you're moving so fast. Everything's happening. It feels like so constant. It feels like you're hitting timings. It feels like they're hitting timings. Things are happening. There's multi-prong. But when you watch it back to back with watching a pro game, the speed difference is just insane. It's so crazy. And it's a very common thing. And I know you're just memeing. You're just memeing. That build didn't go well. It's mostly MaxPax's ability to hold. Nobody else can hold those builds. It's literally only MaxPax. He's the only player in the world that can do PvP like that. I stand by that statement. He's the only one who can do it this consistently. Nobody else can. Nobody else even tries. Occasionally, like Estrella or Trigger, I think, will try. It's not a thing for anybody else. But I can assure you, it's so common to hear people say like, "Oh, this looks like a diamond game." I've heard that so much, especially when casting like players who are a few hundred MMR below these guys, still like 6K, 6.5K players. I'll hear that all the time. Oh, it's like a diamond game. I'm like, I wish I had a diamond replay queued up to look at after. Or like a picture-in-picture of how much slower diamond players are. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. I say this as a diamond player confidently. My games are so much worse than this. Anyways, of course, we're here. Game number 4, we're on altitude. In the lower left-hand corner on match point, it's Sidestorm Gaming's MaxPax. Opponent in the upper right is Team Liquid's MaNa. Getting the low ground gates going down. This was the standard for a while, going for this. MaxPax really drove that meta of making it standard, especially on maps with a ramp, but even back in those days, MaxPax would do it on maps without a ramp every game. Now, I do occasionally see MaxPax go for the high ground if he doesn't have that ramp. Depending on who he's playing, I think, depending on what kind of builds he wants to do, he will sometimes do that. But generally speaking, he just wants to one-gate expand. And he feels confident he can hold the attacks coming in from anybody. And back in the day when he first made this a thing, I remember that map pool actually. It was the last map pool. I think it was the last map pool Romanticide was on. I distinctly remember him doing that build on Romanticide. Gateway expand, the low ground wall. Everybody thought, you can't do that. The immediate response from everybody was like, nah, that'll just lose. It'll just lose to one base blink, it'll lose to proxy robo. And we'll see if MaNa can get it done here. With the shield batteries coming up, he does have a backup pylon, which will power these shield batteries once they finish up. MaxPax has MaxPax has 2 of these shield batteries actually. And he's gonna drop this pylon for the full wall as MaNa starts trying to bust through one of the batteries. A cancel on one of MaNa's batteries, but he does have one finishing up here, and MaxPax is going to lose his first battery. But it looks like MaxPax should be able to push this back. There's the proxy gate, of course, though, for MaNa, putting that pressure on. The best players in the world have tried this against MaxPax. It does work occasionally, though. There have been some changes to this game that make it a little bit harder for MaxPax to hold. Shield battery overcharge doesn't come off a cooldown quite as quickly anymore. That is a big problem. That being said, this build that MaNa's doing has also been a little nerfed. His shield batteries only start with half energy. So now MaxPax, he's going to be able to take down this pylon. He looks like he's in a good position. MaNa just doesn't have the healing energy here. And MaxPax, he's got his Nexus secured. He is up 5 workers. MaNa's trying to expand behind this, but he can't keep the pressure on. Which means MaxPax is just way in the lead. And MaNa doesn't have any tech or anything back at home either. It's not like he's got a Stargate behind this or a Blink halfway done where he can take advantage of some of that. He doesn't really have anything at all. And ooh, there's a pylon. But MaNa recalled to get the kill. I love you guys talking about looking at your own replays. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I don't really play this game much anymore because, God, I hate feeling rusty. It's really the #1 reason I don't get a chance to play it enough. But, man, it's hard. It's hard to watch your own replays, especially as somebody who casts professional replays all the time. All the time. It's so hard to watch my own replays. God, I'm so bad at this game. It's actually insane. I think MaxPax is just, I mean, he is in almost an unlosable situation at this point. 41 to 29 workers. His blink is quicker. He's got this proxy gate coming up here. He's going to put some counter pressure on, depowering this gateway. He's heading across the map, and MaNa, I mean, he's desperately trying to get a defense up. He needs to get some shield batteries up back at home. He's got this Immortal coming out. But even if he's able to defend, oh no, these Stalkers getting trapped here. One of them's going to go down, a second one going to go down. It looks like MaxPax might lose his Stalker too. Not quite, as he pulls back. I think MaNa now knows there's definitely aggression coming. But I feel like MaxPax could just expand off the back of this, even if he doesn't want to pressure. And all that being said, MaNa realizes the position he's in. He realizes what he's up against. And he just taps out. A bit of an anticlimactic end to the finals, which I feel like happens a lot in these, unfortunately. But MaNa, recognizing where he is, recognizing that he could play out the next 4 minutes, but it was just going to be 4 minutes of MaxPax winning the game. And I think he's absolutely right. A lot of times those kinds of anticlimactic finishes, it's like, oh, they could have stayed in that. No. I mean, MaNa knew where he was. He knew his position. GG's. MaxPax takes it. He holds it.